Wahab was a Christian, but he joined Abu Abdullah and his wife became the first Shahida. And some scholars are of the view that some of the top companions of Imam al-Zaman are not yet Muslims. Imam will come and they will change and they will be more sincere than the Muslims. Wahab, Christian, but his wife was the first woman Shahida in Karbala. What do we do? I want you to pay attention. This is a very important, brothers and sisters. 72 companions. Their Imam of the time was Abu Abdullah Hijri ibn Adi al-Kindi, Maytham al-Tammar. Their Imam was Mawla'i Kainat, Salman al-Farisi or Muhammadi, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, and all those people there. Their Imam was Rasulullah. Yahya ibn Aktham, you name them. Saleh ibn Uqba, you name them. Their Imam was Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Abu Hamza al-Thumali, you name them. Their Imam was Zayn al-Abidin. I and you, my Imam is Imam al-Zaman. What are you doing about it? The movement of Abu Abdullah will be incomplete without the movement of Imam al-Zaman. How many Muslims were there during the time of Abu Abdullah? Why only 72? This is where the scary part comes. This is where the scary part comes. There were so many Muslims, but why only 72? Am I out of it? No. Am I responding Hal min nasirin yansuruni in a true sense of responding to it? No, abadan. Abadan. This is our Imam. For God's sake, this is our Imam. And he's alive. But I and you cannot see him. We cannot even feel his presence. We don't even miss him. Some of us, when Allahumma kullu walika is recited, you get bored. You want to go home. This is our Imam. When last did you recite Dua al-Nudbah? Allahu Akbar. When last did you recite Dua al-Nudbah and go through it properly? Imam, wallah, we are making him mazloom. We are making him mazloom. Now let us look at the steps to undertake to establish this very strong relationship with our Imam. Because Imam is in pain, I can tell you. Number one step in this zamana, ghaybatul kubra of our beloved Imam. Because we all know about intidhar. I'm sure now and then we hear the discussions of intidhar. And the thing which we all know about intidhar, we are told afdalu a'mali ummati intidharul faraj. We all know this riwayah. It's a non-famous riwayah to all of us. The best of all the deeds of my ummah is to await for the reappearance of Imam. Meaning your salah, your fasting, your zakah, your khums, whatever you do, if it is not in connection to wait for the Imam, it's a waste of time. He is your Imam. He is the representative of Rasulullah. Hence Jesus will come and pray behind him. First point, which is very practical, is ittijahu aqaidi. It's a theological awaiting for the Imam. What do I mean? Today, the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt in some corners of the world, people are getting killed because they only say Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah. There are people who are getting killed every day only because they say Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah. Finish, done. They've done nothing wrong. There are people because they say Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah, when they enter a mosque to pray, somebody will come and push them. There are people because they say Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah, when they shake somebody's hand, he goes and cleans his hands. There are people when they say Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah, people say you are kafir. Some call us confused group. What is my duty towards imama in this ghaybah? The first one is ittijahu aqaidi. Learn the aqidah of the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt. Each and every one of you here must start learning the Aqidah. What is Imama? What is Nubuwa? What is Ma'ad? What is Mahdism? What is Messiahism? Learn it and understand it so that you are able to defend the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt in an academia way. That is what Imam al-Zaman need from us. The first way to await for the Imam, learn the Aqidah of Imamat. Look at this riwayah from the Sif Imam. He said, لولا ذنب شيعتنا لرأوا الإمام رأي العين. Imam Jabir said, Wallah, if not because of the sins of our Shia and their negligence, they would have seen our Imam with their naked eyes. Aqidah. To what extent do we know our Aqidah of Imamate? Hence we become emotional. When some Sunni attack us, we become emotional. The best way, as scholars mention, we have so many riwayat, to prepare for the reappearance of Imam in this Zaman al-Ghaybah is to learn the Aqidah and theology of Shia. Our theology is a very powerful theology. It's very logical and philosophical. Learn the Aqidah. Why Imams are 12? Prove to me. Why Imams are Masum? Prove to me. This is what we need to learn and expose the world to these beautiful teachings. Hence the famous teaching of the Sif Imam, which I mentioned the other night. لَوْ عَلِمُ النَّاسُ مَحَاسِنَ كَلَامِنَا لَاتَّبَعُونَ. If people will get to know the beauty of our message, we are al-Bayt, all will follow us. Who is going to expose the world to the beauty of the message? I and you. So number one is Aqidah. Correct your Aqidah. Understand the Aqidah properly, my brother. Especially the young ones, the youth. Learn when you go to madrasa. Learn about your aqaid, your belief. Become very strong and firm in that aqidah, so that when someone challenges you, if the person becomes emotional, no problem, let him become angry. You explain to that person in a very nice way for him to be able to understand what you believe in as a lover and follower of Ahlul Bayt. And under this aqidah, there are few things you need to do. I want you to pay attention. Listen to this point. These are very important. The first one is what they call al-dhikrul khafi, hidden remembrance. This is the dua of our fourth Imam. Wa anisni bi-dhikril khafi. Allah consoles me with hidden remembrance. What is hidden remembrance? After your aqidah is strong, you are able to go to any university. You are able to meet anyone. You are able to sit with him and explain him your aqidah. All of us are representing Imam Jafar. Huh? Wherever you go, you are representing Ahlul Bayt. So your knowledge is so important. What is Zikrul Khafi? Zikrul Khafi meaning, you have to show sense of urgency when it comes to the coming of our Imam. How? Whatever you want to do in your life, connect it to Imam al-Zaman. Say, if Imam al-Zaman is happy, let it happen. Whatever you want to do, connect it to him. That will show sense of urgency, and Imam will always come closer to you, because you mentioned, Ya Sahib al-Zaman, adrikni, adrikni, adrikni. Sometimes we hardly remember Imam. Only when we come to the mosque we remember Imam. Al-dhikrul khafi, meaning whatever you do, connect it to Imam al-Zaman. He is alive. Maybe he's sitting here, who knows? He is alive. Whatever you do, Allah, if Imam al-Zaman is happy, make it happen. Ya Sahib al-Zaman, adrikni, 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 agithni ya Sahib al-Zaman. Some will come and tell you it's shirk, but it's not shirk. Hence you need to understand your aqidah. Once you understand your aqidah, then it's enough. The other one under this first point, which we need to do, is always try to imagine Imam. Like when your loved one goes somewhere, you always sit and think about the loved one. You imagine the person in your mind. You read Ziyarah to Ali Yasin, it describes for you nicely how to imagine about Imam al-Zaman. Assalamu alayka hina taqumu. Assalamu alayka hina tarqa. Assalamu alayka hina tasjud. Yani Ziyat Al Yasin describing for you Imam al-Zaman. Oh, blessings of Allah be on you as you are in ruku, as you are in sujood, as you ask Allah. It's as if you see Imam. And of course, the third one under the Aqidah is this ma'tam that we have, the majalis. You know, this majalis, our beloved Fifi Imam warned us in a very important and profound tradition, where Imam said this majalis and ma'atim that we have and Husayniyah are subjected to death if we don't take care of them. And we know there are two types of death. We have death bima'na zawal, and we have death bima'na al-ihmal. One meaning of death means to delete something, it will never happen. One meaning of death is to ignore. Imam al-Bakir said, if you our Shia don't attend the ma'tam, don't attend the majalis, don't do it properly, and you ignore it, you will subject the whole institution to death. As we have one riwayah, Imam al-Bakir said, those of you who go for Hajj, find a corner in Mina and sit there and recite the Masa'ib of Aba Abdullah until people come and ask you, what are you doing? Then you explain to them about the Karbala. That's number one. Your Aqidah, you need Aqidah to Rasikha. Our youth, you know, the Aqidah of Shia is very powerful. Our Aqidah is not a joke. You cannot compare the Aqidah of Shia to any Aqidah. Read the Khutbah to Shakshaqiyya in Nahjul Balaga and see how Mawla'i Kainat describe the divinity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is number one. We have a work and duty to do. That's number one. Number two is ittijah or intidhar as-suluqi. It's now your behavior. After having the Aqidah, it's your behavior. How do you behave? How do you represent Ahl al-Bayt?